Hello, this is Gino from Fay River Garden and also from the Secret Kindergarten podcast / radio show for young children. And I'm going to show you a few things that I make and how I came about it. And it's going to be to help you to get into finding things that have metaphysical properties and making things such as orgonite. And I'm going to show you how I make them in the coming episodes, and also, it'll be a promo because I'm going to sell some of these things so I can make my podcast for young children free and keep it free, and so I can keep doing it basically. So this here, I'll have a link below. I did a video about a stone stacking activity that families can do with the young kids. And the point of that is, these actually do stuff, okay? So first off, I'll say how I got about that is with using a pendulum. Just dowsing. So, pendulum was gifted to me, but when I was teaching, early childhood teaching, my intuition sort of went through the roof, because, patience is a virtue, and building up your patience and, technically suffering the kids builds up your intuition. And that's the whole point of all the stuff that I do. It's what I discovered, and it's meant to encourage adults to spend more time with young children, because it opens up this whole new world and this whole aspect of being a human that's very magical and powerful, and it's fun and it feels natural and it feels right and it feels more purpose to life. So that's the whole point of all this. But I want to show you the stone stack because I think it's something that's really easy. When people discover that I do make things like orgonite and stuff, they're always very interested in it, and I think a lot of people want to try out making it themselves. And there are a lot of amazing, I would call them artists. I've been on, Facebook groups and stuff, people that make orgonite, and it's just like, I can't believe it. Like, I don't actually look at them anymore because it's kind of like, I really feel like it takes away some confidence because their stuff is so amazing, like just these precise works of art. And I don't want to say that that's not good, but what I do want to say is that, the basics of an orgonite, this is one of the first ones I made here actually, they had a candle on it. That's just some stelo pad, some wire scrubbing pad, chopped up. I got a big skin reaction from that. And just some normal resin. Like epoxy kind of stuff, polyester resin. Don't know what you would call it in your country, but wherever you are. And that's it, and a little bit of quartz. And that's really it. And, I think someone selling these is fine. And I think if you bought one like this, I think there's no shame in selling something made like that. In a way, I kind of feel like I'm making excuses for what I'm going to be selling. What I'm trying to say is this is all very intuitive, right? So this one here, these stone stacks, I've found just recently that they have a big effect on the environment, a big effect. And especially if you muck around with these radionics kits and stuff like that, where you can put it on a powered device that, allegedly transmit. These things are really, really good. And these are very easy to make, right? And you get your stones from the environment. Now, you can check out the link to the video of the stone stacking activity. If you're doing this activity with young children, you have them on your side, and if you do this sort of, ritualistically or dogmatically, you just, every Sunday you go for a walk collecting stones and you build up stone stacks, your kids, I kid you not, are literally going to be, they're going to be, as they are in the hands of God, they're going to be, transmitting the, the directive from elsewhere that you would get maybe if you used your intuition or if you did your dowsing. If you don't have young children in your life, you can still find a way to make these. And the point of this exercise is to develop your intuition. And what you'd want to do is you definitely want to get yourself a pendulum. Okay? I would say if you're really set on making one of these, don't even really go out of your way to go and buy one. Just intend on acquiring a pendulum. Intend on acquiring a pendulum and go out walking, and that's it. Okay, you'll get something. Like a pendulum can be virtually like, now this is really like, in case you are wondering, I am an Aquarian, so this is all pretty psycho killer kind of stuff really, right? But this is just some stones, a marble, and a shoelace from a hoodie, and that's literally a pendulum. So don't buy too much into these metaphysical shops. They try and, first off, generally they treat you like you're an idiot and you don't know anything, and then they're the second coming of Jesus Christ. Ironically, probably the one, the one person they don't believe in at all. And, they're going to try and tell you can't do this, you can't do that. You can, okay? This is about you developing your way to use your intuition. But a pendulum, you'll get one, is what I'm saying. You go for a walk, a stone might stick out to you, you can just tie a bit of string to that, and you literally have a pendulum. And this pendulum will have more meaning to you than someone patronizing you at the crystal shop and selling you something very beautiful. I do have, saying all that, I have quite a lot of pendulums, and I have ones that I bought. But my favorite ones and my most, well, I'll say no more about that, but let's go back to this stone, right? So this stone stack, how do you know that these three particular stones found in the environment, stacked like this, do anything more or less than what they were as they were out in nature? Well, in a way, you can't really 100% say, right? Because we're delving into the spiritual sciences, right? But you can get guided to these. How did I find this? I found this literally from dowsing. Literally from going, hey, is there something that's a good idea for me to do today? Yes. Okay, I'm exaggerating the pendulum just to make a point. Should I smoke a whole bunch of weed? No. Damn, I wish I could smoke a whole bunch of weed today. Should I go for a walk? Yes. Like that. And I'll just set time and then, okay, where should I go? Oh, well, obviously it can't tell me. It's not like, oh, you should go to that. Oh my God, I'm cracking myself up. But so I'm like, I wonder where I should go. Can you point to the direction I should go? Oh, is that left or right, up or down? I don't know. So then I get a map. And I'll be like, can you point to where on the map I should go? And they will point to the nearest park and circle around it. I go, whoa. And then go to the park. And then before you know it, I'm at the park. So this is my suggestion to you, right? To go for a walk in the park with your pendulum. And say, where should I go? Or where would you like me to go? Where's a good idea for for me to take myself, okay? And what will happen, right? Because you're now in service. You're now putting yourself in service to nature. Now, when I'm talking about nature, you want to go to, if you live in an urban area or whatever, you want to go to a park or a forest or a bush, but you want to go somewhere that's kind of, you don't want to go anywhere too isolated, right? So you just want to go to like a city park, a city farm, a city forest, this kind of thing, right? If you don't live in the city, then okay, all the better. Just go to a nice reserve or something like that. And, just follow the muse and just be in service to, exploring. It's exploration. And what you'll find happens, just weird things like, you'll pick up you go, okay, you might end up and it will circle above, like, oh look, there's a stone on the ground, or there's a stick on the ground, right? And so you pick up the stick, or you say, right, should I pick up this stick? Or you can even be like really, woo-woo about it and be like, do I have permission, Oh, please, nature, do I have permission? And people are like that, and that's fine. But the point is, you've already been given permission, right? Because you're already crazy enough to be the one out there going, right, I'm going to go and make a change. Hey, nature, what's up? And nature goes, thank you so much. Do all these things, right? And so before you know it, you're like moving things around, and you might find that you move that stick and go, should I take the stick somewhere? Yes, okay, I'll go and take the stick somewhere. Oh, should I, and then it'll stop, and then, all right, I'll put it down here. And, what I noticed is that, like, I'd end up putting, like, sticks back in trees, branches back on trees, balancing them on trees, putting them in front of trees, putting stones at the bases of trees, this kind of thing, moving it around. And then eventually, and this is after like a lot of time, so my recreational time, I'd go for a walk and I'd take the pendulum out and I'd do a lot of this, and eventually I'd end up with one of these stones to keep. Now all these years later, I'm sort of fast tracking this for you guys, because I totally did this as I just showed you. Like, I didn't even know the significance culturally and historically of stone stacking in terms of, Celtic traditions and Native American traditions. Seriously, no idea, no clue. As if I would have even thought of this, And sometimes I look at this, I'm like, geez, you really hit the bong pretty hard when you were younger. but look, I love it. And this here I put on my radionics kit, and it helps me with, believe it or not, like digestion. Makes my tummy feel really good when I put it on. Helps with my energy. And this is like basically the gift. So I'm going to be selling these, dare I say. But you can make these yourself, right? So you can just start with your pendulum and you go out there and you start moving things around. You could also just use your own imagination to think what you can do for your area. The big one is obviously picking up rubbish. Down by the river near where we live is, I wouldn't say it's filthy, but there's always rubbish to pick up. So, pick up a piece of rubbish or two. Don't make a big Instagram thing about it. Just, you got a bit of food stuck between your teeth, you clear it out and you get on with it, right? So you're going for your walk, there's a bit of rubbish, so you just pick it up. You don't have to go down with video cameras and rubbish bags and an entourage to show how amazing you are. Just, just use your common sense and do that sort of thing. And the whole point of what I'm saying is that these are, I say, as powerful, or have a powerful purpose that's as powerful as orgonite. Now, a good place to put these is, first off, where the pendulum says you should put them, or suggests. So you start interviewing yourself, or whoever you might be, getting advice from through your pendulum about what this is all about and where it should go and what it does, right? And then you'll figure it out. You'll be told. A good place to put them is on tree stumps. So have a little read into it. Tree stumps are pretty bad. Now that you're mucking around with this world, tree stumps, yes, energetically, etherically, not very good, right? Actually, they're actually pretty bad, okay? All kinds of problems in your environment can come up if in your environment there are tree stumps around. And we've got a few on our property, and I've been putting these up. And I'll tell you, it's dark now outside, so I won't be able to show you, but I made a big one of these with a tree stump. It keeps getting knocked over. The concrete on it, I used like mortar to put them together, kept coming apart. There's been a real battle with that tree stump, so that's all I'm saying. This glue here is UV resin, which I love to death. UV resin I've never had any issues with, and it just looks so good. I mean, the resin itself. This is totally utilitarian, right? I don't know if I'm going to put varnish on these or what. I probably should. But this is done. This is practical and effective. So I just wanted to share that with you. All right. So check out the links below. One of the links is to Secret Kindergarten, podcast, vidcast episode 4, for adults to look at, and how this was a cool activity that you can do with young children, because you're kind of getting, it's a fair trade. You are spending time in play and exploration with young children, so they are creating that, crucial bond that they need to make with adults. In return, you're getting intuitive gifts from, dare I say, the angels that guide them, and from the young children themselves, or you're doing it alongside them and getting your own rewards for doing the right thing. And in the years that I was teaching as an early childhood teacher, my intuition grew. Well, coming all these years later, it's been a while since I've done the teaching, but I started to ask the question, like, who or what is it that's helping? Who is it that sort of wants this dynamic to be sort of this caring for nature, caring for the kids, and then you get sort of rewards back, and you are sort of making this thing, that this sort of energy that, or this sort of archetype that wants to help you and guide you and reward you and be happy and want you to do well and support you. Well, there's obviously all the stuff that I mean, if you're still listening, about a lot of the metaphysical stuff. I mean, could say this being a rose quartz pendulum, I believe it's my guardian angel, right? So that's I consider to be my guardian angel pendulum, and that gets me out of a few pickles. But when I started asking these questions, this is where I ended up. And boy, did I cringe. What is the Sidhe? What the heck is the Sidhe? And I started looking at it, and it's like, oh, the she. The Celtic she. That's not even an Irish accent, but listen, man, I just follow the muse, and here I am with my tarot of the she. And one thing I do know is that, sense of humor is good, and the fairy realm, they're all good with it, right? And so, in a nutshell, my niche work that I did, being a grown-ass man and going to do technically a woman's job, technically, I know we're breaking down barriers here, guys, and being all progressive and stuff in the world today, but, I was one of the only guys doing it, let's face it. And, that set me apart, and I had to give it 120%. And part of being an early childhood teacher, to be an excellent one in the eyes of the curriculum, the pedagogy, right? You got to be reflective, and you got to be looking for the deeper meaning and being able to extract this sort of spiritual and scientific meaning from what's going on with the young children and documenting it and da-da-da-da-da. And, I gave that 120%, and, I went down the rabbit hole to find out the meanings. And all these years later, here I am, and I'm bold enough to say that, if you were to quantify what these energies are that are, closely related to kids, where you just look around at what symbology and stuff that is associated in fables and myths and film and all that stuff, cartoons and all that sort of thing about kids, and it's fairies. It's fairies and animals. Fairies, animals, insects, bees, flowers, all that sort of thing. And I say that the she kind of bundle that up into one sort of package of, it's the she that are around, at least whatever dimension, that these guys are chilling out in, they are closely connected to the energies that are, around the young children. And when you as an adult engage with that in the right way and with good intentions, these guys are here to kind of help and support you. Oh man, I'm sorry to say. But yeah, that's how I roll. So check out the links below, because the other thing that I'm doing to try to fund my amazing podcast for young children, best podcast in the young world for children, is I do messages from the Sidhe. I use these tarot cards and all my psychic woo-woo, my clairaudience and yada yada yada, to give you a message. And to quote the one customer that I've had as feedback, to quote him, he said, 80% of what you said was 120% correct and personal to what's going on in my life right now. And for me, it's like, well, it's none of my business. I'm just like, shuffling the cards. But, blessing or a curse, this is where I'm at from all the crazy stuff I've done in my life. Check it out. Check out the links below. And stay tuned to this channel for some cool tips. And I'm just going to show you how I make the stuff I make and why and what it's good for. And there's going to be some pretty cool stuff. So stay tuned. And thanks for watching.